baby's skin turned different. Now my husband is accusing me of cheating.
Different how?
He, 26 female, and my significant other, 29 male, just had our first baby. We are over the moon when we discovered the pregnancy, and we were both really excited to have a child together. We wanted to get married next year, and everything was going great. We were happy. By the way, this comes from Wrong Race Baby Throw. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we both look very white, pale skin, blue eyes, brown and blonde hair. However, my great-great-grandpa was black, and some of his features have popped up here and there in our family. Kinky hair, darker skin, and more black-looking facial characteristics. My significant other knows this and has seen some of my adults and uncles and cousins who have these features. I, however, don't have any myself, and neither does my mom. Our daughter was born 5 days ago, and I guess she just got all the dormant genes in me because she's really dark-skinned compared to us with really curly hair. I think she's adorable, but my significant other flipped. He accused me of cheating and that the baby couldn't possibly be his. I've never given him a reason to suspect me of infidelity, and I've certainly never cheated. We argued about it. I pointed at all my cousins and other relatives who have black features, but he absolutely refused to listen and said our daughter looked too black for that to be a plausible explanation. He stormed out of the hospital, sent me a text an hour later that we were over, and when I got home from the hospital the next day, he wasn't there, and most of his personal belongings were gone. I tried to reach him, but he didn't answer my texts or calls until 3 days later when he told me that he demanded a paternity test to prove that I was a liar, and if I refuse, I'll never see him again. I'm completely broken down and hurt over this. For our entire relationship, he's been so sweet and rational. This is completely unlike him. If he just calmly asked for a paternity test to begin with, I would have been hurt, but I guess I could understand the concerns. Our daughter looks nothing like him. But I don't think our relationship can survive this, even when I proved to him I wasn't lying. Should I go through with the test or just cut my losses here and raise her alone? And there is an edit. I decided to get the test done. I'll update you all when I get the results. I'm still angry, but I guess I understand him a bit better now. There are some relevant comments. Throwaway says, that's your decision to make. However, in your situation, I would do the paternity test either way. If you decide to leave him, it's a nice big F you to him. And if you decide to stay, he gets his peace of mind. It's a win-win situation, really. I'd be hurt as F if my significant other accused me of cheating, even though I've never shown any signs of it. However, I don't know how I'd react if I had a white girlfriend and the baby came out black. This is probably a 1 in a million type of situation, so I really can't say anything else about it.
It's not a 1 in a million type situation.
Yeah, like,
the baby's not black.
The
baby has like it's seemingly like more Afrocentric features because OP's family does.
Exactly. It's like this isn't just a situation where like the whole family is
white
and
as
all
can
of a sudden
be,
that
and
comes
then,
out. Like that, you know.
Yeah.
Sure, I would raise some eyebrows at that, but like this
then
is
I'd
a
be like,
different
oh
situation.
wait, let's look at OP's entire family and be like,
right.
Oh yeah, I can see where those features. It's like being, you know, like having two. Like you're married to a person that has completely straight hair and you also have straight hair, but your entire family has curly hair.
Right.
And then your kid has curly hair.
Yeah.
And the husband's like, how does the kid have curly hair?
Right. Or like red hair or something like that, and the
yeah.
parents don't have red hair. It's like, well, skips generations, guys.
Come on,
We can just do a little haha about this and be like, oh wow, haha.
Yeah.
Doesn't look anything like me.
Yeah.
But it's still my child. Jersey Blue Claw says that you're going to need a DNA test for child support, so you may as well get one now. What you choose to do about the relationship is up to you, but you're going to need the child support. OP responds, wow, I've been so caught up in this whole drama and taking care of the baby that I hadn't even thought about child support. You're right. I'll get the test done, if only to make sure that the baby gets the best life possible. Burned Notice says people are surprisingly ignorant of how genetics work. Anyway, get the paternity test just for his peace of mind, but understand that your relationship is irreparably broken and that he may sadly never show your daughter the sort of love or affection a father should show his child. This is a heartbreaking situation. I feel most for the baby and you, of course, but that little girl is going to face a lot of challenges in life looking like a black child to white parents. Talk to your more black-looking relatives about this and do research on how to talk to your daughter about her ancestry and prepare her for some of the more stupid, bigoted, ridiculous things that people are bound to say. Opie responds, yeah, I imagine things are going to be hard for her, but at least she has a loving mom and a family who can relate to her. I just hope my boyfriend or my ex, I don't even know anymore, will come around and treat her with the respect that he couldn't afford to give me. And OP makes a comment on her family history. 4 generations back, my great-grandpa and all her siblings look really black. My grandma less so. My mom's generation is the first to have completely white-looking kids. And I don't think so. My friends joke that my butt is so big that I must have inherited that. But I don't think big butts are an actual racial trait, just more of a stereotype. Plenty of white girls with big booties. And there is an update of 5 days later.
Ooh-wee. I'm
Wow.
hoping that... I think what should happen, they stay divorced. They get divorced because this is not something that you can come back to easily or come back from easily.
Yeah.
And he finds out that this kid is his, and he's like so overcome with guilt.
Yeah.
That he was like, I'm going to raise this child properly.
Yeah. He would have to do so much effort to like earn my trust back after he just accused me of not trusting me, you know? To like make me forgive him. He would have to do so much.
I don't even at this point for me, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not even like, oh, I would forgive him. I just want him to parent his kid.
Right.
That's like
That's the most
my
important,
ideal
for
outcome.
sure.
Yeah.
So updates 5 days later. Hey guys, first of all, I want to thank all the original commenters who helped me see my significant other's side and calmed me down enough to take the test. Well, the results are in, and of course, she is his. The whole process was absolutely ridiculous. I got an appointment with the doctor and texted significant other the time and location. He didn't answer, but showed up, and the entire time he didn't say one word to me. And he didn't want to touch or even look at the baby, and left as soon as they had taken a sample, despite the doctor asking him to stay so we could go over a few things. Once he left, I just broke down. And I must say the doctor was really nice, didn't judge me or accuse me of anything, just calmly went over how the test works and told me babies are often born darker than they actually end up being. Baby was an absolute champ, barely fussed when they drew her blood. I got the results yesterday. I texted significant other to the news and asked if he wanted to come over and open it with me. After almost half an hour, he finally responded, yes, he'd like to come over. I'm thinking he either sent it while on his way or he's not staying very far away because he was here in about 15 minutes. Well, we opened it and read the positive test together. He turned white like a sheet and then just started bawling. I had to shush him because he was crying so loudly. And finally, I got an explanation for his flip out. I mentioned in a comment on the old post that he was an only child to very old parents. His dad passed away a few years ago and his mom lives alone a few hours drive from us. I haven't met her often, but she seems pleasant enough. Turns out she hates me. She absolutely hates my guts and always has. I had no idea about this. She's always acted kind of snobby, sure, but I had no idea that she disliked me this much. When significant other called her to tell her the good news 8 months back, when we discovered the pregnancy, she started crying. He never told me this. And as the months passed, she continued being super negative about the whole thing and saying that she doubted the baby was actually his. I was below them. Poor people cheat because they were raised in effed up environment. What the F?
I'm
OP
sorry.
says.
He's okay. I'm calling you right now. I mean, I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
He's gonna tell OP, well, my mother, she spent months telling me that you would cheat on me, and then I saw the baby, and the baby wasn't what I expected the baby to look like, and I just snapped.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if I had a family member who was going on and saying terrible things about my partner who I was having a child with,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
None of this makes me understand him.
No.
more. Or maybe I understand what he's saying.
It.
Not at all. Not
I would
at
be
all.
like, oh, okay, so you listened to your mother for months while she just spewed vitriol at me.
Right. We
And
didn't even
stand up for me.
Yeah.
And then when you saw the baby, instead of talking to me, you believed your mom.
Right. You believed that I could possibly cheat on you.
Are you going to believe mommy every time?
Come on.
Every time something comes up about me, you're going to believe mommy?
Oh, you poor victim. You poor victim. And instead of talking to me about this, significant other kept silent while constantly doubting me more and more. Baby being black just put the final nail in the coffin that his mother was right and I was a good-for-nothing cheating witch. After telling me all of this, we just sat in silence for a while. Finally, he asked if he could hold the baby. I was still angry as heck, but decided that holding her was his right. He's her father, after all. I went and got her from her crib, let him have her, and he started crying again, which scared her, and she started crying too. So they were just sitting there bawling together for a while. Finally, he stopped, handed her back, and asked if he could come home. I was kind of taken aback. I didn't expect him to just flat out ask that already. I laid out everything I said in the last thread, how insanely disrespectful and childish he had been, how he'd horribly broken my trust, and hadn't talked to me about his mom's poisonous and ignorant comments, completely ignores me for 3 days, not telling me where he is or if he's even alive, and then he just waltzes in and wants to start living here again. I told him if he ever wanted to have some inkling of a chance of mending the relationship, we had to go to couples therapy ASAP. And from now on, he will answer my calls and messages unless he has an emergency and can't. He will not be staying here for a while. And finally, he needs to tell his mom to back the F off. She will not be seeing the baby until she apologizes to me in person. And you guys can always see us or listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime because you've got full episodes with more stories just like this one. Just like this one. There is a little bit more to the story. I like that she's setting some boundaries.
Me too.
I would be so pissed.
I would be so mad.
Pissed, dude.
Oh, okay. But I do appreciate that she's not letting him off easy. She's like, you're not staying here for a minute. Finally. And you have to put up all these boundaries with your mom.
Yeah. Like, no, this is what you did wrong. This is what you did wrong. The entire past few days have been terrible, and you need to fix that.
And also, I think he needs to do some, like, inner self-work because he had a lot of thoughts on his baby daughter about her race and, like, how she looked. And I feel like you need to really, really question your internal biases.
Yeah.
Because you're about to parent a child who does look darker than you. And there are, like the comment said, there are going to be people who question that, people who make comments about her. Do you know how to take care of her hair? Because it seems like she has curly hair. You know, like, you have to be on top of this.
Yeah.
Because you already let your biases take you away from your newborn daughter.
But there is a little bit more to the story. He immediately agreed and finally told me how sorry he was for this whole fiasco. I'm not sure if I can forgive him for this, but I'm gonna try. We had an amazing life before this, and I hope that with a lot of work, we can have it again. My significant other also finally told me that he was staying in a hostel, but it's not very expensive, so he can stay there for a while longer. The baby is doing great considering how many stress hormones she must have been drinking from me these last few days. Her hair is falling out, but the doctor told me that it was normal and babies often lose most or all of the hair that they're born with. I'm hoping her new hair will grow in blonde. That would make her even cuter. Thank you all for your help on the last thread. My mom agreed with many of you and thinks I'm absolutely nuts for trying to work things out, but I think it'd be best for everyone if we at least give it a shot, especially the baby. And that is the end of that story.
My husband asked to be poly, so I'm divorcing him.
Well, that's up to you guys.
I, 26 female, and my husband, 27 male, have been married for just over a year and together for 4. We spent a long time before getting married talking about what we wanted out of being married, so I thought we were on the same page about all the important things. I do love him very much. He's sweet, helpful, and generally my dream partner. Until last week. By the way, this comes from FarSafety9543, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, out of the blue, he sat down one night and said he wanted to talk about something. I thought it was just something minor he was frustrated about, or a bad day at work or something. Instead, he talked about how he found out that his best guy friend and his wife are polyamorous. He and his friend have been talking about it more, and he thinks he might like to try it and wondered what I thought. I felt instantly sick to my stomach. We've always had great spicy sleep life, and he's never given me any reason to think he was interested in anyone else. I told him that I'm not interested in being in a polyamorous relationship. I want to be monogamous with him for the rest of my life. If I had stopped there, I don't think it would have gotten so bad. But then he asked if I would read about it and then decide. I said no. I already know how I feel about it. He asked if I would at least think about it, and for some reason that just did something to me. Like instant revulsion kind of upset. I got up and told him that I was too upset to keep talking and that I needed some space, so I would sleep in the guest room that night and we could talk later. Ever since that night, I had the biggest ick anytime I saw him. He kept trying to backtrack, But I know he meant what he said about wanting to be polyamorous. It's not so much that he brought it up, it's the 2 other asks after I already said I would never be comfortable with it. It's like that didn't matter to him. He thought he could convince me, and it makes me feel awful. What else is he going to pressure me about if I say no? And if he already wants to sleep with someone else, how can I ever trust him not to do it behind my back? I'm still sleeping in the guest room, and I'm thinking of just asking for a divorce now, when it would be simpler to divide everything up and go our separate ways instead of waiting until years down the line when I get my heart broken. He could go do whatever he wants, and I could find someone who just wants a good, solid, monogamous relationship with me. The idea is unaliving me, but I feel like it's gonna hurt no matter what I do. While I do still love him, I don't think I can ever unhear or unsee my husband asking me for an open relationship, and the idea of him touching me makes me feel ill. He's upset and frustrated that I'm punishing him for asking a question, but I honestly don't know what he expected to happen. There is a part of me that thinks maybe divorcing him is being overdramatic, but also the ick is so strong that I don't have much hope of getting back to where we were. Am I the a-hole? And there is an edit and an update, but what do you think?
I don't think you're the a-hole.
No.
I mean, it's not like he just asked, like, hey,
can we think about this? No, he
yeah.
said, can we think about this? And you said no. And he said, can we think about this though? And you said no. And he
right.
said, but can you think about this?
Yeah.
And you said, I hate you now.
Right, because this also isn't like, hey, like, let's start a business. You know what I mean? It's not like,
hey, can I cheat on you?
Yeah, right, exactly. Because it's like some people, you know, just are polyamorous and some people aren't.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. It's not a punishment for not being polyamorous.
Like, if he wants to go find someone who wants a polyamorous relationship, for sure.
Yeah.
But you don't want that.
Yeah.
So if he does it, it is cheating.
Yeah, this isn't.
Because you don't want that.
Exactly. It's not a punishment. He's just trying to play the victim.
Yeah. Edit. Gosh, this is a lot of replies. I'm reading through them as best I can. I'm going to take the advice to get an STI test, and my gyno is going to work me in today for that. I don't think he would physically cheat, but better safe than sorry. I do think there is probably someone he's interested in, probably. Possibly his friend's wife, or maybe even his friend. He's never expressed being bi, but that doesn't mean he isn't. I don't know them very well, so I can't speculate on their role in all of this. I'm going to be charitable and assume that there are no machinations from their end, and he just picked this up from his friend and ran with it. I want to be clear that I'm not ignoring him. We can talk about whatever else is going on, but I'm not ready to continue this conversation with him, and he knows that. I want to be calm for that, and his behavior is not really conducive to a sense of calm right now. Every time he brings it up, it makes me a little more disgusted with him, but he seems intent on digging the hole instead of letting things settle. That and not taking the first no for an answer is a bigger issue than the poly ask for me. I think I'm going to meet with a lawyer just to go over options. At this point, I don't have a lot of faith in counseling changing how I feel about him now, but I would be willing to try a few sessions to say we gave it a shot. I'll throw that out there tonight and see what he says. Edit 2. He doesn't think counseling is necessary. He just wants to go back to the way things were before bringing it up. I've told him that's not an option. You can't unbreak a bone, it has to heal instead. I asked him if he had someone in mind, and he said no, but he's not a very good liar, and I don't really believe him. He says it was just an idea, and there's no one, and nothing has happened. But he also doesn't want to show me the messages between him and his friend, so I can understand the content of the conversation they had. I will respect his choice, but it's enough to convince me that there is something he's hiding, even if it's not an affair in progress, and that's a problem. I've got an appointment with a lawyer in a few days. I'm going to wait until after that to make a decision, and I'm going to take a short trip alone to see my grandparents this weekend to get some fresh air and perspective. I'll try to update next week after all the test results come back, and I've had a chance to look at all the facts with a professional. Thank you for your kind support and advice. And there are some comments and an update, folks.
I think he's silly.
I think he's very silly. I'm sorry. He's like, I just want to go back to the way we were before. I don't want to go counseling.
Yeah.
It's like you're the one who kept pushing.
Right.
You could have gone back when your wife said no, and you could have been like, okay, she said no.
Yeah.
Guess that's that.
Yeah, like I wonder if he's feeling like embarrassed or something because of or with like how he's wanting to go back or something, but it's like, okay, well, like this is obviously something you want to try. Again, it's not like it's you wanted to take a different route to to the function, like it's
this is like life-changing for your relationship.
Yeah, this is something like about you. Yeah, and that will affect your relationship. So if you just drop it and ignore it, it's not going to disappear. It's still going to be under there, and
you still want to do it.
Yeah.
And if you want to do it and your wife does not want to do it, then
right.
Is this a deal breaker?
Right. And the counseling can probably help him too. Like really understand these feelings.
Why he's asking for this.
So,
comment 1. Had some sympathy for you until you said you're going to meet with an attorney behind his back. That's quite the dang leap. Sounds like you just want a way out at this point. Just leave. OP says, my dad is a lawyer and he likes to say that anyone who tells you not to get legal advice when you're vulnerable is part of the reason the relevant laws were written to start with. So don't trust them. They just don't like it when the prospective victim comes properly informed and prepared. If he was talking to a lawyer right now, I absolutely wouldn't blame him. If he gets mad about it, that's another mark in the get out column. Part of seeking legal advice in this situation is also finding a way to allow him a graceful exit. If that's what happens, because his family are mostly religious conservatives and it would be a rough road for him if they found out why the divorce was happening. So if I decide to go, I want to be able to suggest a plan that protects him as well as me. I have no interest in raking him over the coals publicly. Comment 2. This will upset someone, but a man who will share you spicily doesn't love you. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah.
Again, there are polyamorous relationships that are very healthy.
Right.
And that work great for those people. Comment 3. This marriage is over and you need to get out. And I definitely would not have unprotected spicy sleep with this man because he's likely already cheating. OP says, I don't think spicy sleep will be a problem right now. I don't even want to be touched. But I probably will take some advice from the thread and get an STI test to be on the safe side. Comment 4. These comments are out of pocket. You are absolutely the a-hole for how you're handling this. Not necessarily for leaving. Is this rage bait? Your partner brings something to you in what he thinks is a safe space and you shut him down before even knowing what he's asking about. Your post makes it clear you don't know what polyamory is. You refuse to A, learn anything more about it when asked, and B, refuse to even humor him and think about it for more than 30 seconds it took to run through the convo you relayed. You then proceed to passive-aggressively punish him and look for the exit immediately when he tries to frantically backtrack. What happened to forgiveness, giving grace, or better or worse, my lord? How you should have handled this. Gently but firmly told him that you were against the idea of anything other than monogamy, but that because you loved him, you'd read a little bit more about the lifestyle and really consider it. Then read an article or two, and as soon as the next day, once you guys have both had time to sleep on it, told him, look, I read X, Y, and Z thing about it as a favor to you, but I'm still wildly uncomfortable with it. After sleeping on it, I can assure you I'm not ever going to want something other than monogamy. So the same exact thing, just longer.
Yeah.
So the same exact response,
right.
Just make him wait a day.
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Huh?
Like,
huh? That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense.
This commenter's stupid.
It doesn't make sense. That's kind of like coming out to your partner as trans and then expecting your partner to also transition.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like a right?
Yes,
like
actually, yeah.
You could still be accepting of the partner and like of their choices and stuff like that, but like it's just not for you.
Give him an opportunity to say, "Okay, honey, thanks for considering it. I really appreciate you taking this seriously." If he doesn't, then he's showing you a lot. You can't extrapolate from one silly convo. Anyway, you're the a-hole for not making a safe space for your spouse and giving less than no grace. OP says, I know what polyamory is. Yeah. Like, what is that comment? What is it talking about?
So crazy.
I'm sorry, if my partner came to me and said, hey, I'm into polyamory, let's try it out. I personally don't want that. So I would say no. And if they said, no, but you haven't even looked into it, I'd say I actually know a lot about polyamory.
Yeah.
No.
It's like
still no.
The reason I'm saying no is because I know what it is.
Yeah.
And I know I don't want that.
If I didn't know what it was, I would say, what's that, honey?
Yeah.
I know what polyamory is. I don't need to consider to know that there are absolutely no conditions under which I would ever be comfortable having anything but a mutually monogamous, romantic, and spicy relationship. I know what my boundaries are, and so does he. We talked about these kinds of things before we got married. There's nothing to forgive, really. If that's what he wants, I respect him less for backtracking. It means he's wishy-washy and unreliable. He won't stand behind what he says if there are consequences. I think that's part of the revulsion I feel. Not only did he pitch something he knows full well goes against my core values, and then persist when I said no, he can't even stand by it afterwards. Like, it would be better if he had just said, I would like to try this, but I hear you when you say you aren't interested at all. This isn't a deal breaker for me, so let's talk about that part. Instead of, it was just a question, it's not that important. Stop refusing to touch me because you're uncomfortable and need space to calm down. I don't like it. And that's the end of that story.
My husband took his mistress into our home, so I took my name off the lease.
Get out of my house!
I, 53 female, have been married to my husband, 48 male. We will call him Richard, aka Wiener, for almost 17 years. Our marriage has not been perfect, especially the last 4 years. I suspected Wiener of cheating, but never could catch him. By the way, this comes from Tiny Woodpecker 7523 on the Charlotte YouTube subreddit. But if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, until a couple of years ago, I ended up in the ER because of a not so fresh feeling. I loved my husband very much, but this was the last straw. And this wasn't even the girlfriend he is seeing now. We will call her Jane, 43 female. Oh, the ER trip was more than enough proof that he wasn't being faithful. I have not been with anyone other than him for the eternity of our marriage, so I openly told him I was looking for a job closer to my family and leaving him to go there. I took a contract for a year. I left in 2023 and moved 1,100 miles away to be near my family. Wiener and I texted it daily. Some was arguing, other conversation was more serious and sounded like he wanted to reconcile, so I still wasn't sure. He assured me that there was no one there with him in our home, but he is also a habitual liar. So I got in my car one night and drove all the way to my former residence. I arrived at 5:30 in the morning. I was tired, but oddly enough, Wiener was awake and met me on the porch in his robe. He was clearly not expecting me, so I proceeded to go inside and he tried to step in the way. I continued to go inside. Now we introduce Jane, standing in my kitchen, cooking in a robe only. So I said, "How are you?" I'm Wiener's wife. Needless to say, it wasn't a pleasant visit. Not only did I have to go get a hotel and Airbnb, but Jane was living there. This apparently happened 3 weeks after I left. This goes back and forth for the last couple of years where she's there, next she's leaving, next she's there. And now they are supposedly in love. WTF ever. Whatever. Okay, so to the lease part. My name was still on the lease to the house. On paper and even off paper. Wiener didn't qualify on his own. So I have been more than generous to not take my name off so he didn't have to face moving. I know I shouldn't care. I'm just not that person. Well, now here we are, and I moved back here for a job about 9 months ago. He was trying to have his cake and eat it too, telling both of us what we wanted to hear and playing both sides, lying through his teeth. However, I just got a new job, and I needed a home that was central to the 3 locations that I will be splitting my time between. I got a $24,000 a year raise with this job, so I couldn't turn it down. Well, the landlord who leased us the first house had a bigger house that was central to all 3 locations. It couldn't have been more perfect. So I called her and told her that I don't live at the other house anymore. I applied for this house and I am standing in the house typing this to all you potatoes. She has known me for 10 years and knows that I will take care of my responsibilities and this house. So now Wiener is pissed off and he can now be referred to as Richard Noggin. He has started telling everyone that I did this on purpose because I'm trying to make him homeless. I have now filed for a divorce from Mr. Noggin. I don't think he should have the financial benefit of a wife on paper and not want the wife. He also tried to financially ruin me. This has been an emotionally difficult time. I have been struggling a lot, but I am going to be fine with this new job. Now I know I should have divorced him a long time ago. It was hard to just unlove someone you've been with for a third of your life. I know, I'm trauma bonded. So my name came off the other lease, and he is having to fill out an application for the house that he has lived in for 10 years. Technically, he doesn't qualify because he can't produce any stubs, banking info, or anything. He runs a cash business as a mechanic from the house. So now he said that I knew what I was doing and wanted to put him out in the street. Am I the a-hole for not keeping my name on the lease to be the financial cushion my husband thinks I should be for him and his girlfriend?
No.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
definitely
your
not.
husband's cheating on you and then was like, well, I'm going to keep all of this house and stuff and keep cheating on you and you're going to be fine with it. No.
Right. Absolutely not. No, this is he doesn't want you.
Yeah.
He doesn't want you.
Divorce.
Not enough to put in the actual effort to treat you right.
And not cheat on you.
Yeah. So of course you're just going to leave and take your money.
Literally you expect how did he think this was going to go?
Right. Oh, you want me to be homeless.
No, I want you to not be in my life anymore because you cheated on me.
I wanted you to be monogamous, but you didn't want that apparently.
Couldn't handle that.
Couldn't handle that. Now you get to deal with being alone.
Exactly.
Opie says, I don't think I am, but that's how he is portraying it. I finally have the courage to stand up for myself and not let him walk all over me. So am I the a-hole? Thanks. And there is an update. First, I want to start by saying thank you for all of the support and the advice that was given. I have read each of your comments and suggestions and have actually done a couple of them. I'm continuing my counseling, and I have been a lot braver this week when my soon-to-be ex has continued to F around and find out. So, here goes the drama for the last few days. As of June 30th, my name officially came off the lease. My landlord was more than happy to take it off, and she also signed me a new lease for a nicer, bigger house that was much more convenient to my new job. My soon-to-be ex has been blowing on my phone, whining on how he has to come up with pay stubs, and he is already late on his rent, and why couldn't I leave well enough alone?
What the heck? I don't understand.
Yeah.
He's like, why are you doing this to me? She's not doing anything.
She's not doing anything.
You cheated on her, so she's leaving you.
Yeah. Well enough alone is leaving the relationship without an argument or something like that.
Yeah.
Not continuing to pay for your house.
That's what it feels like. It feels like he wants her to stay in this relationship.
Yeah.
Continue to pay for everything.
Yeah.
And be fine with it.
Yeah.
Huh?
He even went as far as to threaten to get me fired from my new job. So I took a restraining order out on him, and it was granted. He cannot call, text, speak, or be within 500 feet of me anytime, anywhere. And he thinks that I will be financially responsible for any damage that he causes to the house. Well, it's F around and find out time because the state that I live in now has a law that legally states that I am no longer responsible for anything to do with the home that he and his girlfriend are now completely responsible for. I am a protected person according to the protective order and am absolved of any and every responsibility on that with him. Yay. Also, he cannot pester me at work, cannot call my job or come on to the campus, or he will be arrested immediately. So thanks for all the encouragement. I definitely pulled my big girl britches up and looked up a few things in order to start completely removing him from my life. The process has been started. Thanks again. And I know for sure that I am not the a-hole. He now has to learn to fend for himself and grow up. He is not my problem. And there is a second update.
Ooh-wee. I hope it just says, he's really not my problem.
Yeah, right? Because that last update seemed like it wrapped up pretty nicely.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going to happen
It better
here.
be good still for OP.
Update number 2. I am getting moved into my new place, and in the other post, I was answering someone about whether I thought the girlfriend was going to go on the lease with the soon-to-be ex, Richard Noggin. Well, I received a phone call. She is not all that excited on going on a new lease with him for any length of time. Matter of fact, she only wants to go month to month. Soon-to-be ex is crying that I've ruined his life, and she is tired of hearing the whining. Apparently, I'm not so sure if this is true, she had no idea that I was still on the lease, which she questioned him extensively about. He made up all kinds of excuses as to why, but the truth is that he doesn't qualify on his own to get a lease. He needed my financial credentials. She told him to get a job. She also is telling me that she is figuring out exactly why I left in the first place. My response to her was, after 17 years, don't you think that I would have had a really good reason to leave after that long? There are two sides to a story, and somewhere in there is the actual truth. So the conversation was really interesting, and after she got some answers to her questions, it ended peacefully. But I surprised her when she started to tell me things about the two of them, and I cut her off by telling her that they were not my concern. It was between the two of them, and I didn't want to know. But now the girlfriend is in jail. Why? She got caught taking security tags off of things in the store, and then when her name was run by the police, 2 felony warrants. Apparently, the warrants are for not showing up to court, and it has been so habitual, there is no security bond available. 2 $10,000 cash only.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. You really think that OP is the one who's going to make you homeless?
Yeah,
dude.
Come on, man.
Now your affair partner's got $20,000 of debt.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe that's why she was so like peeved about him not having a job and not being able
Yeah,
to
I was like, I
pay for it.
need you to have money.
Yeah, I was like, I can't afford this, so you have to. So I think she'll be stuck there for a minute. By the way, you can get stuck listening to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. We've got full episodes with more stories just like this one.
Heck yeah, we do.
Get on over there. There is a little bit more to the story, but what a mess.
So messy. OP, I think it's just you divorce him, which you have, or you are.
Yeah.
And leave him well enough alone.
Exactly.
Whenever he comes crying to you, block.
Yeah.
We don't have to engage with him.
Right. You've already got the restraining order.
Yeah.
That's just extra drama that you just get to hear about of what they have to deal with.
Yeah, you gotta go, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Not my problem.
Not my problem.
My opinion or my observation is this. It's almost the first of the month. Who is coming up with rent for him? Not me. As I've learned with this entire situation, what you put out into this world, whether it be goodness or by being a terrible person, it has a way of coming back to you. And when it comes around, boy, does it. So, I am settling into my new place, new job, and new life. Sounds like the other two have a lot to work out, and I love saying, not my problem. Thank you to all in this group who have commented and supported this journey. I continue to pray daily, and I am proud of all I have accomplished. One day at a time. I am living my best life and being the best I can be every day. Thank you all again. And that is the end of that story.